So the skin healing masterclass and the gut healing masterclass is opening on Thursday, which I'm very excited about. So I'm going to kind of give you guys an overview so you understand the operations and like admin-y side of things. And then I'll explain to you kind of what's involved in each class. So the first thing is that this is not a class where I'm going to tell you, do this, eat this, blah, 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 like for your gut and for your skin. No, I'm telling you guys that in the upcoming podcast. There's a podcast coming out next week and a podcast coming out the week after. That is basically going to be like the pre-work, quote unquote, for these masterclasses. These two masterclasses are healing classes, right? So they're a masterclass and then it's not like a whole program. It's a one-off situation. You'll get the recording, etc. You can keep the recording forever. But it's a healing class in that I'm not doing a pile of teaching because the podcast is the teaching space, right? For this topic, the masterclasses are going to be healing work. Okay, so to give you an idea, I want to see whether I can do one of those like screen share things. How do I do that? As you guys can see with the skin healing class, this is what we're going to be going through. So there's going to be 3 of my healing modalities. One is going to support you in getting to the root of the skin issue and clearing it. One is going to support you in clearing the fear of being seen in your radiance and beauty, because that is always like common, that is often, if not always, a block that people have in radiant skin and in clear skin, right? We like hide behind skin issues. It's a hiding mechanism. And then the last thing that we will do is supporting you in like doing an energetic clear of your skin. Then you guys will obviously have this masterclass as the recording. So then you can keep doing this if you want to afterwards as well. I will also give you different tools, skincare supplements, etc., that will be the most supportive to you based on what your body's communicating to you. And then I'm also going to walk you guys through how you can muscle test yourself so that you know whether your skin needs certain things, rather than just taking what an influencer says and be like, oh, this will help my skin, when it's not going to, it might help their skin, but it's not going to help your skin. Okay, so that's the skin healing masterclass. Let me bring my microphone. Oh my God, all 4 dogs are in the room. All right, let's swap. I'm like so obsessed with the screen situation. Okay, so let me go to the other one. Hold on a second. So choose a different asset. Oh, love this. I better not accidentally like post a nude, lol. Okay, so where is the next one? All right, so now let's go to the gut one. Okay. So for the gut healing class, similar but not the same. So the gut healing, and obviously it's all going to be centered around gut. So that we'll go through 3 modalities. The first one will support you in getting to the root of your stomach issues and clearing it. The second thing that we're going to do is supporting you in doing an energetic clear of anything that is in your gut, whether you know about it or don't. You don't need to know what it is. Then the third thing, just like we do in the skin, then the third thing is something that's going to act as a tool that you'll use on a consistent basis to kind of like lock in, quote unquote, what we've been doing prior. So that's going to be really important for you. If you have gut issues, especially around stress stuff, like especially with stress, if you think it's stress related or if you know it's stress related, the gut one's really going to be amazing for you. And then, like I said, in the skin one, I'll go through different tools. Wow, that's funny use of words. Tools, strategies, and supplements that will obviously help you based on what you have figured out from your body's communication in the class. So everyone in the class is going to be kind of realizing, oh, my gut's been having this problem, or it's been eating this or this, because I'm going to help you to actually be able to listen to your own intuition and to your own body's communication, so that you can actually use this in the future. It's not just going to be like a one-stop thing. You will have this and what you learn from the class and take from the class to use in the future. It's what I use for my gut all the time, my skin. Then we'll also do a muscle test as well. So then you know what things are going to actually be supportive to your gut health and what are not. Because like I said before, not everybody needs fucking probiotics. That could actually be doing the reverse thing that you need for your gut. Okay, so I'm going to close this now. Now let me stop sharing. Oh, that was so cool. Okay, so I hope that made sense for everybody. But it's opening on Thursday. Make sure you're on the wait list. The wait list gets 20% off. They're both really affordable. It's $297 a class. You can bundle them to get a little bit of a saving. And then you get 20% off that, obviously, if you're on the wait list as well. I'm really excited for these. If you have any questions about it, please look at the FAQ section on the website first. If you are a past Queen Alchemy client and you're like, oh, do I need this? I've answered all those kind of things in the FAQ section on the website page. I'll post the website link again on my Instagram after this call, like in an hour or so after I finish this. And then you guys can check that out. And if you have any other questions, obviously feel free to send an email or send a message to me on Instagram, and then Olivia will answer it. And everything's obviously cross-checked with me as I mentioned before. All right, let's jump into questions. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Oh wait, the operation side of it. So just to make this really clear, they're two separate classes, right? Just to sum this up, they're two separate classes. You can buy both. You can come to both. If you have skin issues, I would recommend coming to the gut one as well, because we know that the gut is so connected to your skin. So I would recommend coming to both if you have skin issues. If you only have gut issues, you don't have skin issues, then just come to the gut one. Hopefully that makes sense for everybody. But they're two separate classes. They are going to be held live, right? They're going to be held live. There isn't going to be Q&A time in it. Where you will get your Q&A time is if you're in the behind the scenes bubble. What I will do is a few weeks later, after we've done both those classes, I will be holding a live Q&A for any skin and gut questions in the behind the scenes bubble. So if you're not in the behind the scenes bubble, then and you want that Q&A, you can join that after the masterclass, or you can join all at the same time. It doesn't matter. But that is what you want to be doing for Q&A, right? For those two classes. But I'm also releasing a podcast next week and the week after that will probably answer a lot of your questions too. And then the healing stuff's done in those two calls. Okay. Amazing. All right. Let's jump into questions. So I think we already have one. Okay. What exactly should someone expect from the HER program? I mean, it's kind of on the website page. You can expect, and drop any other questions in, guys, that you have about anything, and I'll answer it. They don't have to be program related. They could be like gut related or something. What you can expect from the HER program is to feel like you can manage it all, to feel like you can manage having good health and a crazy work schedule and your relationship, to literally feel like you are that it girl that people talk about, people want to be, that seems like unattainable, right? I feel like we live in the most negative society these days where like everything is unattainable. Everything is fucking hard. Everything is a shit show. No, that's not how it needs to be. The execution of how people are living their lives is horrendous. And that's why everybody is in this negative, mentality. But what you can expect from her is feeling like you are crushing the majority of days. We're human, crushing every day, being productive, using the most out of your time, really knowing, how do I do this feminine and masculine? Like, you guys see my calendar, right? I've been posting that kind of frequently. It's been kind of fun. And just fun to make you guys realize, like, if I'm not replying to your DMs, if I'm not on Instagram, it's because I'm fucking busy. But why I've been sharing that as well is because, as one of the ladies in the current round of Queen Alchemy said, she was like, how do you have that much on, but you remain so feminine, so calm, so cool and collected? Like, you keep up with everything. And it's not a front. Like, I do keep up with everything. I do keep up with my health stuff and like the exercise and all that kind of stuff, relationships, etc. And it's literally because of everything I'm teaching you guys in HER. So if you are like, how the hell do I do the busy schedule and remain in my feminine? I'll be doing that with you guys in that program, which I'm very excited for. Starts next week, I think, if I'm correct. Yeah. All right. Let me answer the next question. Oh, hold on. X that. Get out. Oh my God. What's wrong with my finger? All right. Yeah. Is the gut class is the gut course good for somebody? Sorry, major wedgie. Healing Crohn's disease? Absolutely. We know that one of the number one reasons for Crohn's disease is stress. And you know what? A lot of research has shown that children that get Crohn's, it's because of the family environment and family stress. So 100%, 100%. Whenever somebody has Crohn's, I'm like, makes sense. Like, look at the upbringing, look at your life, look at your stress, whether it's subconscious or conscious stress. It's something that you need to validate about yourself 100%. Chrissy, this is covered in the FAQ. So I'm just going to say, go look at the FAQ if that's okay on the website page, just so I don't bore everybody. And then if you still have another question, then feel free to ask me. Kind of like what I've been saying, everyone, is for like, if you're thinking about joining the next round of Queen Alchemy or whatever it is, there is nothing in Queen Alchemy that is specifically gut healing or specifically skin healing. We do it in a roundabout way, of course, and you've seen results in Queen Alchemy of people's bloating disappearing, people's gut disappearing, etc. So we do it in a roundabout way, but we don't do it in a specific way. Now, if you've had a one-on-one with me in Queen Alchemy, we may have done it in a specific way for you in that one-on-one. So then don't come to the class. But What a lot of people also tell me with other programs, for example, there's an overlap between MMM1 and Queen Alchemy. What people often say that have both is that they love having both because I say things slightly differently. And sometimes one way just lands more than the other. And what people also say is they love going to MMM1 and all things money and manifestation are in one course. So if you feel, let's say you've done Queen Alchemy in the past, and if you're like, oh, it's kind of like scattered, like there isn't anything specific on gut healing, right? So it's like, where do you go if you have a gut issue? Everything's kind of everywhere because it's all live, right? And there's nothing specific. But if you got, let's say, the gut masterclass, you would be able to go to just that class, redo it a million times, and you wouldn't be having to sift through random shit in Queen Alchemy and kind of like making it your own because there's nothing specific. So let's say you've done a one-on-one with me that we did gut healing, but you are like, no, I want something that's general that I can customize every time. Because the thing with what we're doing is that when you do a replay of that class, it can change, as in something new can come up that you can heal. Because when I'm doing something as a group, it's not it's not customized in that you can't hear on the recording, you repeating yourself. Therefore, when you watch the recording, something else can come up, if that makes sense. Whereas like when I do one-on-one calls with people, it's sometimes hard for them to redo the call because when we're doing a healing modality, it's like customized to their problem at that time. So if you also want to have a gut healing class on hand or a skin healing class on hand that you can do at any time with new things that come up, then these masterclasses are also going to be great. So I hope that answers that for everybody. Okay, let's keep going. Is backne and chest acne usually related to gut hormones or energetics? Everything can be energetics, right? But when you have acne in those areas, that's related to generally speaking, an androgen dominance. So androgens are male-like hormones like testosterone. So when you have too much testosterone, which is often linked to stress, to like too much stress, when you have a high level of stress, it upregulates the androgen production in your body. Then that's where your testosterone will increase. And that's where you have the acne showing up on your back or your chest. So you want to be working on testosterone levels. And if you've already done that and nothing's budging, then definitely it can be energetics, right? So don't just go on like, some kind of fucking medicine that's a testosterone blocker, because that obviously isn't going to do anything. It's just going to band-aid it. You want to be thinking about dairy, because dairy will upregulate androgen production. So thinking about dairy, thinking about sugar as well. If you have a diet that's high in dairy and sugar, it is a bad combination for acne and for insulin. Like it upregulates insulin production, which then causes the testosterone increase as well. But then you also want to be thinking about stress. That's why some people notice, like some women will notice that when they're going through a really stressful phase of their life, they will get some backne or some chest acne, or they'll get some like black hairs on their chin. And we don't need to be freaking the fuck out. That's just our body telling us, oh, there's a bit too much stress in here and it's causing my body to make too much testosterone. That's all it is, right? So then what can you do to make sure that you reduce your stress and your response to stress? That's the most important thing. Meditation only goes so far. Reducing your response to stress so that you don't have these issues. Okay. And then, Lizzie, for that question, I'll keep answering the others. Does the Melbourne Immersion cover anything gut or skin related? Well, the Melbourne Immersion is all somatic healing. So yes, but not specifically. So if you were thinking about coming to the Melbourne Immersion, I mean, I'd be saying prioritize that 1000% over the masterclasses if you had to pick. The reason being is like, I'm not coming back to Australia for an event for at least 6 years, but also everything that you're going to get out of that Melbourne Immersion will very likely, like I said in Queen Alchemy, like inadvertently clear up a lot of skin stuff and a lot of gut stuff. No, it won't be like specific. I'm not going to be saying like, okay, let's clear our guts now. But with all of the work that we do around safety, healing, trauma, all that kind of stuff, speaking our truth, being expressed, that is all linked to gut and to skin as well. If you can do both so that you have like a specific healing class just for skin, just for gut, because you want that on hand, great. If you had to pick, 1000% Melbourne immersion, just because you get so much more than you even think possible out of the immersion than just those healing classes, if that makes sense. Not the healing classes are bad. It's just like if you had to pick, 100% the immersion. What is your book going to be about? Actually, I need to announce this. So I've decided that I'm going to delay my book to March. Nothing's wrong. I just want, in order for me to have this like certain distribution happen with a certain company for like hard copy books, I have to add on an extra like 4 months onto the process, which then means that it goes past November. It becomes like a 9-month process rather than a 5-month process. So I'm actually delaying the book release to March, which actually feels super good because it just allows me more time to do like all the other things that I want to do into the book, to add more into the book, to like just less rushing, you know? So the book, what it's going to be about, without giving too much away, is it's basically going to be, it's not a personal development book. Everyone thinks it is, but it's not. It's not a personal development book. It is about like polarity stuff. It is about men and women. It is basically the most politically incorrect book. It's a politically incorrect book, and it is helping us to have the conversations that we're all thinking about and we're all wanting to have, but we feel wrong for saying them, having them, admitting them. It's really about women allowing themselves to tune into their desires, no matter what that desire is, and men to tune into their desires, no matter what that desire is, and to stop living by this like fucking standard and book that is created by society. So that's going to be juicy. If anybody wants to like have me on any of their podcasts or anything like that, I would always be very open to it. Would the gut healing also help fibromyalgia conditions / are they related? They can be related because it's around like a stress and safety thing. But I don't want to say like 100%. If you have gut issues as well, then yes, right? But, and often they're related because everything is related in our body. It's like when people focus on their skin and they forget their immune system. It's like your immune system is directly correlated to your skin. Or when people are focused on healing their endo, but they haven't looked at their immune system, I'm like, endometriosis is an immune system issue. So they're related because everything is related, but I'm not going to be talking about that or like specifically focusing on healing that in the class, if that makes sense. But if you have gut issues, it would definitely be worth coming. Yeah. Will the gut course help with my inflammation of eczema? Yes. Stressed and fired up most of the time. And in my masculine, have tried naturopath. Hold on, I need to read the rest of this. Have tried naturopath and some supplements and kinesiology, but no improvements yet. Especially if you're having no improvements like you just shared, then yes, it sounds like it's an energetic thing related to obviously stress and being in your masculine. So yes, I would be coming to the skin one and the gut one is what I would come to. Because like I said at the beginning, ladies, your skin and gut is so massively connected. So if you can come to both and they're bundled with a discount, then come to both. If not, just come to whichever one you feel like you need more of. So if you know it's a gut thing, then come to the gut. If you know if you're not sure and you have to pick, then I'd be coming to the skin. That kind of thing. Hopefully that helps answer your question, Brittany. Okay, next question. How to become a good feminine leader in summary? Oh, I love this question. How to become a good feminine leader in summary. Oh my God, how do I summarize this? It would be leading in a way that makes you feel, because we're feeling based, leading in a way that makes you feel like the version of yourself that you want to feel like. So if you're emasculating men, you're going to feel like a bitch, right? Or you're going to feel frustrated. You don't want to feel that way. So then that's not right. It's a mismatch. If you're leading in a way where you're hustling, you're going to feel exhausted. So if I had to summarize feminine leadership, I would summarize by saying feminine leadership is about leading in a way that feels like the version of yourself you want to feel like, right? It just feels right. It feels easy. That's another one, actually. It feels easy because we're all leading in different ways, right? Like some of us are mothers and we're leading our children. Some of us are business owners and we're leading our team or our business. We're all leading with different things. Some of us are leading multiple things at once. There isn't one idea of feminine leadership. It's about leading in just a way that feels easy to you. Because the way that I conduct my business and the way that I lead my business and the way that I lead my team, it feels very easy to me. It just feels right. I never do something that doesn't feel right. I never push to like suit somebody else or meet some fucking expectation. I do what just feels right, even if it doesn't make sense, because I trust myself. And sometimes I have to do things that like are hard to do. And part of me doesn't want to do them, but I just have this knowing of like, I have to fucking do it. Like I just have this knowing. And that can be annoying sometimes because it won't make logical sense. But I feel like that's my job as a leader and a leader for women and a leader of feminine leadership is to not always have it make sense, but just to do it because it makes sense without it having to make sense in your mind, right? It makes sense in my body and in my heart, my intuition. Oh, I love that question. Will you do an online version of the immersion? No, I never will. I was asked this during like lockdown and COVID. I never will because the modalities and the work that is done, it has to be done in person. It would be fucking exhausting for you guys to do 8-9 hours a day on a Zoom call. I couldn't do it because for me to be at my like full 100% capacity for 9 straight hours a day, I've got to have that in-person energy. I've got to feel you guys. I want to see you. I want to be in person. So like the online version, quote unquote, of the immersion would be Queen Alchemy. And that's over a 7-week period with a lot of calls over those 7 weeks and whatnot. But in terms of like what we do at the immersion and that level of like quantum leaping, collapsing the timeline, that healing in just 3 days, like all of the stuff that you've seen in the promotional videos and that you've heard in the testimonials and read about in the testimonials, that is possible because it's in person. Like there is a level of healing, ladies, where I feel like especially for A-type personalities and for women in their masculine, they don't want to break, right? I know this. I don't even feel it. I fucking know this. They don't want to break. They don't want to let go of their armor. And so online for some people can sound great because it sounds fucking safe. They're in their own home. And there's benefits to that, obviously, like the safety level. They're in their own home. They're behind a screen and they can be like, oh, yep, I'm breaking my shell, but they're not. And so I created this immersion because, it's so much fun to be in person all together. And I cannot count the amount of women in the past that have been like, I've made lifelong friends from the immersion. But at the end of the day, the reason why I really created the immersion was because I know that for a lot of women, there is a certain level of healing that can only be done in person, right? Especially for A-type personalities. But nothing is wrong. I'm fine. Miss Positive, hyperachiever, masculine armor. You are not going to fucking break. You think you will on a Zoom call. You are not. Like you may to like 80%, but in person is a whole other level. And you want to break in person. You want to let go in person. You want to feel it all in person because all the other women in the room that are screaming and crying and processing and doing all the crazy things, not crazy, but like crazy as in like what is happening. This is like so fucking powerful. That invites you to go deeper. And that's what a lot of women say with like the testimonials of, I thought online was amazing. In person is a whole level. I can't even tell you how many times women have said that. Like if you think Monica's good online, in podcasts, whatever, in person, there is a whole other level. And it's true. I'm really serious about the event. I bring that to the table. We've been working so hard. I have like so many things to do tonight for it actually with like decorations and whatnot and logistics. And it's worth every fucking penny. I've had so many women, you can hear about it in the testimonial videos, you can read about it. Day one was worth the whole entire amount. My fiance came to the event last year, and we were like newly dating, right? So I was like, well, at least if he's coming, he's going to either leave now or stay, you know, because he's going to be seeing me in my fullest self. And he was like, what the fuck, in a good way. And that for him allowed him to actually really see. I'm really glad that he came, because now he gets the intensity of what I do, because he saw it and felt it in person. I mean, the camera guy was crying at one point. I'm not joking. Ryan was crying. Ryan's coming to the Australian one too. He had tears at one point because of how fucking powerful the energy was in the room, of just like all the healing that was happening. And I often like am welling up with tears, and I have to like snap myself out of it. Otherwise I'd be a hot fucking mess. But it is, I mean, I could talk about it forever. I've just gone on a full tangent. It is really powerful and really amazing. And so, yes, there are still tickets available for Melbourne. There's a few left. So make sure that you jump on it, ladies. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I really can't. I'm still looking for, I haven't done that much research, but I mean, into the ones that you guys have sent, but I'm still looking for a, yay, Brittany. I'm still looking for a Melbourne makeup artist. It's all non-toxic. So if anyone has any suggestions. Okay. Next question. So what's your opinion on grass-fed dairy? I also need a Sydney makeup artist that's non-toxic. I mean, I need to reach out to some and be like, well, you just fucking use my makeup. Like, it's really not that much of a big deal, the difference. But I know some makeup artists are like, no, it has to be this makeup. Otherwise, like, it won't look as good. And I'm like, oh my God. I can do my makeup myself for my event, but I just don't want to have to. I really like having someone else do it. So if anyone has any suggestions for Melbourne or Sydney, we have our engagement party there. That would be awesome. Okay. What's your opinion on grass-fed dairy in the US? I feed it to my fiance. I don't really eat it. I just, I know that if I can eat dairy. It's really not a big deal. I eat it in Italy and whatnot, but I avoid it in America when I can, right? So when I'm cooking at home, I'm not going to throw dairy in something. If I'm at a restaurant and a bit of dairy comes, I'm not going to stress myself out, because the stress is honestly worse than the dairy. But I am pro grass-fed dairy in the US. Just don't have much of it. If you can tolerate dairy, then fine. But I think it was you that was saying that you're having the backne, and I was saying about testosterone, you need to cut out dairy for a bit of time, just for a few months, and see whether there is a difference for you, because that would be worth knowing. It really would be. One of the questions that I had a lot of was maskne. How do you even say it? Like mask acne from COVID. So I want to answer that. So for a lot of us, we had really bad skin issues from the masks during COVID. I actually kind of went through this. I need to get off soon, because I need to finish this podcast that I was recording for you guys before. In 2 weeks' time, I have a skin podcast coming out, and I kind of go through it in there as well. But the number one thing is that, like, when you're having a breakout, do not exfoliate, because you do not want to strip the moisture and strip your skin microbiome and strip your skin barrier, because then it's going to cause the breakout to spread. And when your skin is really dry skin causes more breakouts. It doesn't cause less. People think like, oh, the oil's clogging my pores and blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, if you have too much sebum production, then yes, it can clog your pores and it can cause breakouts. But sebum and your natural skin oils are really, really important. If you don't allow your natural skin oils, and if you don't allow moisture through, putting moisturizer on, face oil, etc., that's actually going to cause more of an issue. So if you have maskne from the pandemic still, and you're really struggling with it, obviously your gut is really important. And making sure that you don't have like an overgrowth of candida and whatnot. So don't just take a fucking probiotic, guys. That is the worst thing to do. You want to be thinking more modbiotics. Modbiotics are way superior to probiotics. I know like seed is all the fucking rage and every influencer is talking about it, but it is problematic to have these blanket statements, because, for example, every single one of my clients that I've ever had a gut issue for is candida related. It is not because they do not have enough gut bacteria. It is not because of anything like that. And when you take a probiotic, right, that you don't actually need, it is feeding the bad bacteria and the good bacteria. It's not doing, and people say like, oh, well, the good bacteria is going to fight off the bad bacteria to an extent, but you're still feeding the bad bacteria. Instead, what you actually want to do, check out this light leak. Instead, what you want to do is you want to actually be focusing on giving your gut herbs to eliminate and kill the bad bacteria and feed the good bacteria. Like oil of oregano is a really good example, right? Oil of oregano will kill anything bad, but it will feed anything good because your body knows what's good and bad. Where our body, our gut is way smarter than we give it credit for. So, where was I going with this? So making sure that your gut is really important, because if you're wearing a mask a lot, let's say you were a nurse, right? Or you were working in beauty during the pandemic and you're wearing a mask, you breathing in your own carbon dioxide all the time is not good, because it affects your oral health, right? So the bacteria in your mouth, which therefore, sorry, this light leak is like super intense. I don't have curtains in here yet, which therefore affects your gut. So gut is number 1. 2, do not exfoliate too much. Instead, add more moisture to your breakouts if you're having them from, oh my God, look at this light. This is insane. If you're having issues still, I hope you guys can see me okay. I'm sorry. If you're having issues still, let me try and put it over here. Okay, here we go. This is better. So if you are, so for the mask me, make sure that you are not exfoliating too much, because that's going to affect your skin even more in a negative way. And then you also, what was I going to say? Oh my God, guys, 10-step fucking skincare routines are not any better than a two-step skincare routine. What I always thought about was like, why do men have such good skin? They don't put a pile of products on that disrupt their skin barrier. So simple, right? So don't overcomplicate. Okay, so question, any tips to prep for the immersion to get the most out of it? The tips would be to make sure that you take Monday off work so that you can use that as an integration day. And then the other tips would be, I mean, the main thing is just to come with a really open mind. The main thing is to know that, like, yes, you might be afraid. Yes, there might be fears. But I've done this 5-6 times now or something. I don't know, 6 times, maybe this is my 5th. I don't know, one of the two. And I know what I'm doing. And I set the space up so well that it supports you in opening. It would be really good, of course, if you want to go the extra mile, to think about, what am I wanting to release? What am I wanting to heal? Like, have some intentions coming in, have some ideas of what you actually want to focus on so you know where you're going, but also set all that up for you guys beforehand. So you really don't have to stress too much. Just come with an open heart, an open mind, come trusting me, come trusting yourself. And that's really all you have to do. Okay. Love it. I'm excited. So excited. Okay. All right, next question. Just wondering, are you still doing the mini one-on-ones for mums? Yes, you can book in a mini one-on-one. Nikita, sorry, I just had to zoom in to read your name. Zoom in, lol. Come closer to read your name. Yes, you can book in a mini one-on-one session. I think I might still have maybe one space left for July, because 2 of you booked July spaces last week. You can book it you can book a mini one-on-one package, and then we'll focus all around the mum stuff. 100%. Yeah, I just kind of made that mini one-on-one package that I made for mums last year, I think is when I did it. I just made that a mini one-on-one package so anybody can book that. It's 2 one-on-ones and 2 weeks of voice text message support as well. Okay, the next question. Let me answer these last few, and then I'm going to go, guys. I need to record this podcast for you. I need to finish it, and then I need to pack for Rome. Okay, SOS. Need a podcast on PMS. PMS since I was 12 and just 3 days with a horrible long period. I'm so sorry. Now it's flipped and I'm psycho for 2 weeks prior on cue. Don't want to get on any anxiety or depressants. I have so many podcasts for this. If you go to my website, Perry, go to my website. I think that's your name. Sorry if it's not. And just search in the search bar podcast directory, or underneath the menu, click podcast and then click podcast directory, and then scroll through the period section. There are so many episodes on period problems, hormones, PMS, all the kind of things. Binge listen to those. They're going to help you so much. Okay. Especially some of the earlier ones. Some of the earlier podcasts, don't think, oh, the earlier ones are not as good. No, they're fucking banging. Some of those earlier podcasts also have heaps of information as well. Okay, do fermented foods have the same effects as probiotics, as in saying it helps skin, etc.? It's more of a blanket statement. I mean, Good. I'm so glad, Perry. I mean, the thing is like yogurt, right? Yogurt's also got probiotics and bacteria in it, etc. The main thing is that like if you're having a yogurt every once in a while, like I have yogurt when I'm in Greece and that kind of stuff, and it's great. Like I'm not worried about that. You can have some kimchi, etc. But for some people that have bad bacterial overgrowths or that have candida or that have SIBO, it's going to exacerbate it. So you just want to make sure that your gut is balanced. I mean, I had bad wine in Spain last year and got fucking candida. And my skin freaked out with that on top of then moving to Atlanta and being in like 300% humidity. For 3 days, I had just the worst congestion. And I got like, I think it was like a breakout. Was it over my forehead? No, I think it was like around, I can't even remember what it was. I was like, what is going on? And I ended up having a fucking candida overgrowth. So you don't want to be eating a bunch of probiotics or probiotic food or prebiotic food if you have a massive candida overgrowth. That's all it is. So knowing your gut and like a symptom that you can have, ladies, if you have candida, this is for ladies, if you have candida overgrowth, is a little bit smelly down there, right? Like if you were to like put your fingers up there, I hope Instagram doesn't take this down. If you were to put your fingers up there and pull your fingers out and smell, and if it was like, candida overgrowth, right? If it smells earthy and like kind of just like maybe a little bit quote unquote weird, but just like whatever, then you're fine. It's when it like is a bit smelly. That's a really big indicator of there is an overgrowth of bacteria down there. I hope that was helpful. I just saw a guy jump on. So like, sorry, that was a bit TMI for them. But anyway, it's just a good thing to remember. Like your body's always telling you. All right, last question. What do you think of self-face massage? I mean, I do it. I think people like anything, they get fucking obsessed and they watch Instagram videos of people that aren't professionals and they don't know what they're talking about. And I follow like a few people and they make it very clear of like, if you're doing these things, it's going to have the reverse effect, etc. So I would just say like, make sure that you are getting the right information, just like everything, right? Just like everything. Louise, can be a sign of BV2 if smelly or fishy. Yes, it can be, but all of them are kind of connected, right? So even if you have UTI is different, even if you have BV, so BV can turn into candida because it's bacterial, right? So BV is like a bacterial overgrowth, which can happen from sex. But if you don't address it, then the bacteria can also then cause candida. So think like your gut is so close to your vagina and your cervix and everything. That's why all of those are affected. That's why when you have like for example, like stomach pain, sex can be painful as well because they're all so closely interconnected. So yeah, hopefully that was all cool. Beautiful. Okay, ladies. Well, just don't forget the gut and skin masterclasses, those 2 different healing masterclasses. They open on Thursday. Make sure you're on the wait list. I'll post it again in a little bit so you can get 20% off. Wow, this sun ray is like so fucking huge on my podcast camera now, lol. And then what else? And then the immersion. So the immersion tickets are closing on April 29th. Hold on. April 30th. They're closing on April 30th, right? The last day on the Sunday. So if you haven't gotten your ticket, please make sure that you do so. There are only a few left and we have a capacity. We can't include any more once they're completely sold out because I won't be able to fit everybody into the space and you guys will all be like hitting hands, which I'm not about. There needs to be plenty of space for every single person to be able to move around a lot. So if you know you want to get a ticket, why are you waiting? Like fucking let's do this thing. Jump over the fence, like leap over the fence, do what you have to do so that you can make that happen because I am so fucking excited. I really am. We have great catering. We have great vibes. The playlists are done. Everything's chosen. The signs are being made. We have a little coffee cart there. Ryan, our videographer, is coming. My fiance is going to be there. I mean, I've picked 2 out of my 3 outfits. It's going to be great. I'm so excited. I really am. 3 very full-on days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you'll need to make sure that you have lots of sleep and try and take the Monday off if you can. And just a reminder, and I'm not saying this as a marketing thing, like I will not be coming back to Australia to do another event. I may come back next year for like a little event for my book launch, but no healing, no events, nothing like that. in at least like 6 years. Some people can travel international to Australia with toddlers. I don't imagine myself being one of them. Not pregnant, just will be in a few years' time, and not doing that to myself. So if you do live around the area, Australia, Indonesia, Fiji, even LA, and you want a trip to Australia or New Zealand, whatnot, please, please, please make a trip out of it. Have fun. The Telegram group is already popping off. I know some of you guys are like sharing Airbnbs and you're organizing all your accommodation and everything, which makes me so happy. And the playlist has already been done as well. So if you aren't in the Telegram group and you bought your ticket, make sure that you get in the Telegram group and start listening to the Immersion playlist, because that'll be the music that we use for like dancing and everything. So I want you all to know the music and to know the lyrics so we can all have fun. Because like, we're girls, we are women. We don't want to be dancing to a song without being able to sing as well. You know, I know I'm not alone in that one. All right. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We'll post on the podcast soon as well. But if you just joined halfway through, I would go back to the beginning and listen, because the beginning was so fun when I was like sharing the screens. I need to do that more. And I'm excited for you guys to jump into the new classes on Thursday. And I will see you all very shortly. Have a good rest of your day. Bye, everyone.